You wake up in the morning and your legs feel heavy, like they're filled with lead. You notice your ankles have swollen overnight. You struggle to put on your shoes because your feet no longer fit comfortably. These are not simple signs of aging that you should ignore. These are direct warnings that death is approaching, and it comes not through your heart as you might think, but through your legs. What I'm about to share with you today could literally save your life, and it will take you less than 15 minutes each day to implement. In my 42 years of medical practice, I have witnessed thousands of patients who ignored these leg symptoms, believing their heart was healthy because they felt no chest pain. 6 months later, many of them suffered catastrophic heart attacks or fatal strokes that could have been completely prevented if they had understood the connection between leg health and cardiovascular survival. My name is Aristark Ignatievich Vavilov, and I am a physician who has dedicated my entire career to understanding how the human body truly functions, not how pharmaceutical companies want you to believe it functions. Today, I will reveal to you 4 specific exercises that will restore circulation in your legs, dramatically reduce your heart attack risk, and add years to your life. You will learn why your legs are actually your second heart, how muscle pump failure in your lower extremities forces your heart to work 3 times harder than necessary, and the exact technique Soviet medical researchers discovered that reverses this deadly process. Most importantly, you will receive step-by-step instructions so clear that you can begin these exercises immediately after watching this video, and within just 3 days, you will notice the first improvements in your leg heaviness and energy levels. Let me explain to you the medical reality that most doctors either don't understand or choose not to tell you. Your cardiovascular system is not just your heart pumping blood through your arteries. That represents only half of the circulation equation. The blood must also return from your legs back up to your heart through your veins, and this return journey fights against gravity every single moment you are standing or sitting. Your leg muscles contain what medical science calls the muscle pump mechanism, or as our grandmothers wisely said, the legs are the second heart. When you walk, your calf muscles contract and squeeze the deep veins in your legs, pushing blood upward toward your heart. Small one-way valves inside these veins prevent the blood from flowing backward. This magnificent system works perfectly when you are young and active. However, after age 55, especially if you have spent years sitting in offices or standing in one position for work, this muscle pump mechanism begins to fail catastrophically. The valves inside your leg veins weaken and stop closing properly. Blood pools in your lower legs instead of returning efficiently to your heart. Your ankles swell because fluid leaks from the overfilled veins into surrounding tissue. Your legs feel heavy because they are literally engorged with stagnant blood that should be circulating. But here is what truly matters for your survival, and what your cardiologist probably never explained to you clearly. When blood pools in your legs, your heart receives less blood to pump with each beat. To maintain adequate circulation to your brain and vital organs, your heart must beat faster and work much harder to compensate for the blood trapped uselessly in your lower extremities. This is chronic venous insufficiency, or in simple terms, weakened leg veins that cannot properly return blood to your heart, and it silently destroys your cardiovascular system year after year. I remember one patient, Galina Petrovna, who came to me at age 68 complaining only of leg swelling and fatigue. She insisted her heart was fine because she had no chest pain. Her cardiogram showed some abnormalities, but nothing her previous doctors considered emergency. I examined her legs carefully and found severe venous insufficiency with varicose veins and chronic swelling. I explained to her that her heart was working desperately hard to compensate for poor leg circulation, slowly weakening with each passing month. She dismissed my concerns initially, telling me her grandmother had the same leg problems and lived to 90. 6 months later, Galina Petrovna suffered a massive heart attack. She survived, barely, but now lives with permanent heart damage that could have been completely avoided. Her heart didn't fail because of blocked coronary arteries or high cholesterol. It failed because it exhausted itself, compensating for years of poor leg circulation that she ignored. Now let me tell you the 5 real causes of this deadly condition that progressively destroy your leg circulation and force your heart into early failure. First, prolonged sitting or standing in one position without movement. If your work required you to sit at a desk for 8 hours daily or stand behind a counter serving customers, you spent decades damaging your leg veins without realizing it. The muscle pump only functions when muscles contract and relax rhythmically through walking or specific movements. Static positions allow blood to pool and stretch vein walls until the valves no longer close properly. Second, excess body weight, particularly visceral fat around your abdomen. Each kilogram of extra weight increases pressure on your leg veins and makes the muscle pump work harder against greater resistance. Third, dehydration and blood thickness. Many seniors drink insufficient water because they fear frequent bathroom trips, but thick blood flows more slowly through veins and increases pooling tendency. Fourth, loss of muscle mass in your calves and thighs. After age 50, if you don't actively maintain leg muscle strength, you lose approximately 1% of muscle mass each year. Weaker muscles generate weaker pumping force, creating vicious cycle where poor circulation leads to more muscle loss, leading to worse circulation. Fifth, and this is the hidden factor most people never consider, chronic low-grade inflammation in your blood vessels caused by refined carbohydrates and seed oils in modern diet. What I haven't told you yet is that conventional medical treatment for this condition completely misses the real solution. Your doctor will likely prescribe compression stockings, tell you to elevate your legs, maybe recommend some blood thinning medication. These treatments provide temporary symptom relief, but do nothing to restore the fundamental muscle pump function that actually solves the problem. Compression stockings squeeze your legs externally, but they don't rebuild the internal muscle strength needed to pump blood effectively. Leg elevation helps fluid drain temporarily, but the moment you stand up again, the pooling returns because your muscle pump still doesn't work properly. What you need is to restore the pumping mechanism itself, and this requires specific exercises that most doctors never learned about because pharmaceutical companies cannot profit from free exercises that actually cure the condition. Now I will teach you the 4 exercises that will save your heart by restoring your leg circulation. These exercises were developed by Soviet sports medicine researchers in the 1970s when they studied cosmonauts returning from space. After weeks in zero gravity, cosmonauts' leg muscles atrophied severely and their cardiovascular systems struggled to readjust to Earth's gravity. The researchers discovered specific movement patterns that rapidly restored muscle pump function and normalized circulation. These same exercises work perfectly for seniors with venous insufficiency, and I have prescribed them to hundreds of patients with remarkable success. Exercise number 1 is the ankle pump, and you will perform this lying in bed immediately upon waking before you even stand up. Lie on your back with your legs extended straight. Point your toes downward as far as you can. Hold this position for 3 seconds while breathing normally. Then flex your feet upward, pulling your toes toward your shins as far as possible, again holding for 3 seconds. This constitutes 1 repetition. You will perform 20 repetitions. The movement should be slow and deliberate, not rapid pumping. You should feel your calf muscles contracting with each flex. This exercise activates the muscle pump mechanism and pushes stagnant blood that accumulated in your legs overnight back toward your heart before you stand up and fight gravity. Many patients tell me they feel noticeably less dizzy and more energetic when they stand up after performing this exercise compared to jumping out of bed immediately. Within 1 week of daily practice, your morning leg heaviness will decrease by approximately 40%. Exercise number 2 is the calf raise, which you will perform twice daily, once in mid-morning and once in mid-afternoon. Stand near a sturdy chair or counter that you can hold for balance support. Place your feet hip-width apart with toes pointing forward. Slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as you can while keeping your legs straight. Hold this elevated position for 2 seconds while maintaining balance, then slowly lower your heels back to the floor, but don't just drop down. Control the descent using your calf muscles. This represents 1 repetition. Begin with 15 repetitions in your first week, increase to 20 repetitions in your second week, and reach 25 repetitions by your third week. The elevation phase should take approximately 2 seconds, the hold should be 2 seconds, and the lowering phase should take 3 seconds, making each complete repetition last 7 seconds total. This exercise powerfully contracts your calf muscles, which squeeze the deep veins and force blood upward against gravity. The controlled lowering phase is actually more important than the rising phase because it builds eccentric muscle strength that improves valve function. Exercise number 3 is leg walking, which you perform in the evening before dinner. Lie on your back on a firm surface such as your bed or a mat on the floor. Raise both legs vertically toward the ceiling, keeping your knees straight but not locked rigid. Now perform a walking motion in the air, alternating legs as if you are walking up an invisible staircase. Each leg should complete 1 full walking cycle every 2 seconds. Continue this air walking for 3 minutes without stopping. If your legs become fatigued and you need to rest, bend your knees and lower your legs for 30 seconds, then resume the exercise until you complete the full 3 minutes total. This exercise combines muscle pump activation with leg elevation, creating powerful drainage of accumulated fluid while strengthening the muscles simultaneously. Patients with severe swelling typically see 50% reduction in ankle circumference within 10 days of performing this exercise daily. Your legs may shake or feel weak during the first few sessions, which indicates how deconditioned your muscle pump has become, but within 1 week, the exercise will feel much easier as your strength returns. Exercise number 4 is the seated foot flexion, which you perform throughout the day whenever you are sitting for extended periods. Sit in a chair with both feet flat on the floor and your back supported. Lift your right heel off the floor while keeping your toes pressed down, creating maximum ankle flexion. Hold this position for 3 seconds, then lower your heel and immediately lift your left heel while keeping those toes pressed down. Alternate between right and left heel raises continuously for 2 minutes. Perform this exercise every hour that you are sitting, whether watching television, eating meals, or sitting in a waiting room. This exercise prevents blood pooling during prolonged sitting by activating the muscle pump regularly throughout the day. Many patients tell me this is the most important exercise because it breaks up the long periods of static leg position that cause the most damage. If you remember only one exercise from this video, remember this one and perform it hourly while sitting. Let me give you the precise daily schedule for integrating all 4 exercises into your routine so there is no confusion about when to perform each one. At 7 o'clock in the morning, immediately upon waking and before getting out of bed, perform the ankle pump exercise, 20 repetitions taking approximately 3 minutes total. At 10 o'clock in the morning, stand near your kitchen counter and perform the calf raise exercise, starting with 15 repetitions in your first week and progressing to 25 repetitions by week 3, taking approximately 3 minutes. Throughout your day, whenever you are sitting for extended periods, perform the seated foot flexion every hour for 2 minutes. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, perform your second session of calf raises, same repetition count as morning session. At 6 o'clock in the evening before dinner, lie down and perform the leg walking exercise for 3 full minutes. This complete routine requires only approximately 15 minutes of dedicated exercise time, plus the brief foot flexion sessions that you perform while already sitting. You are not adding burden to your day, but rather protecting your life through simple movements that cost nothing and require no equipment. Some of you are thinking you cannot perform these exercises due to physical limitations, so let me address the most common obstacles now. If you cannot lie flat on the floor for the leg walking exercise due to difficulty getting up and down, perform this exercise on your bed instead, where you can roll to your side and push yourself up more easily. If you have severe knee arthritis that makes the calf raises painful, reduce the range of motion by rising up only halfway onto your toes rather than maximum elevation, and gradually increase the height as your strength improves. If you become dizzy during the leg walking exercise, this indicates your cardiovascular system is severely deconditioned and you should perform only 1 minute initially, then increase duration by 30 seconds each week. If you doubt whether such simple exercises can actually improve your heart health and circulation, I ask you to try this program for just 1 week and observe the changes yourself. Measure your ankle circumference at the widest point before you begin, then measure again after 7 days. Most patients see 1 to 2 centimeter reduction in swelling. Notice how far you can walk without leg fatigue before starting, then test again after 1 week. Most patients increase their comfortable walking distance by 20 to 30% within 7 days. Now, I must give you important medical cautions because while these exercises are safe for most seniors, certain conditions require modified approach or medical supervision. If you are currently taking blood-thinning medication such as warfarin or the newer anticoagulants, you may perform these exercises safely, but if you notice any unusual bruising in your legs, inform your physician as your medication dosage might need adjustment. If you have been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis or blood clots in your legs within the past 6 months, you must consult your doctor before beginning this exercise program as vigorous muscle contraction could theoretically dislodge a clot. If you have uncontrolled diabetes with peripheral neuropathy, meaning you have lost sensation in your feet, be extremely careful during the calf raise exercise to prevent balance loss and falls, and perform this exercise only while holding firmly to a stable counter. If you experience sharp pain, not muscle fatigue, but actual sharp stabbing pain during any exercise, stop immediately and consult a physician before continuing. I want to emphasize that you should not attempt to perform all 4 exercises at maximum intensity during your first week. Begin with the ankle pump and seated foot flexion exercises only for the first 3 days. These are the gentlest exercises that prepare your system for more vigorous work. On day 4, add the calf raises, but start with just 10 repetitions rather than the full program. On day 7, add the leg walking exercise, but perform only 1 minute initially. This graduated introduction allows your body to adapt progressively and prevents the discouragement that comes from attempting too much too quickly. Remember, you are rebuilding a system that has deteriorated over many years, and while improvement comes quickly with consistent practice, you cannot rush the initial adaptation period. Let me tell you about my patient Boris Mikhailovich, who implemented this exact program at age 71 after suffering from severe leg swelling and chronic fatigue for nearly 8 years. His legs were so swollen that he could barely put on his shoes each morning. He struggled to walk even 2 blocks to the corner store without stopping to rest. His cardiologist had prescribed increasingly stronger medications, but his fatigue only worsened and his legs continued swelling. When Boris came to me, I examined his legs and immediately recognized severe venous insufficiency. I taught him these 4 exercises and gave him the exact schedule I just shared with you. During the first week, he noticed his legs felt slightly less heavy when he woke up. By the second week, his ankle swelling had reduced enough that his shoes fit comfortably again. By the 4th week, he could walk 6 blocks without stopping, and by the 8th week, he walked to his daughter's apartment 8 blocks away without any rest breaks, something he had not accomplished in over 5 years. His cardiologist was astonished at his improvement and reduced 2 of his medications because his heart was no longer struggling to compensate for poor leg circulation. Boris is now 73 years old and continues performing these exercises daily without fail because he understands they saved his cardiovascular system from progressive failure. Now, before this video ends, I need you to take specific action because this information is worthless if it remains just information without implementation. First, press the like button below this video so more people can discover these life-saving exercises that doctors don't teach. Second, leave a comment below telling me which of the 4 exercises you will begin with today, or if you have leg swelling and circulation problems, describe your symptoms so I can provide guidance. I read every comment and respond with personalized advice. Third, subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell because I publish videos twice weekly revealing health secrets that could save your life or the life of someone you love, and you don't want to miss this critical information. Fourth, and this is most important, share this video immediately with anyone you know who has leg swelling, varicose veins, chronic fatigue, or cardiovascular problems. You could literally save someone's life by sending them this link. Many heart attacks and strokes are completely preventable if people understand the leg-heart connection that I explained today. In my next video, I will reveal the shocking truth about a common kitchen ingredient that you consume daily, which is silently destroying your arteries and increasing your stroke risk by 300%. And I will teach you 3 immediate actions you can take to eliminate this poison from your diet and reverse arterial damage before it causes catastrophic consequences. Do not miss this critical information. Until we meet again, take care of your legs because they truly are your second heart. And remember that death comes not suddenly, but through years of ignored warning signs that your body gives you every single day. Start these 4 exercises today and give yourself the gift of many more healthy years with your family.